Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak about something so powerful, yet so overlooked: the art of winning your morning. Life is won in small victories, and the first victory you must claim every day is over your morning. How you rise, how you think, how you act in those first precious hours will determine the rhythm, the productivity, and the success of your entire day. Win your morning, and you set yourself on a path to win your life. Your morning is not just a time of day. It is the battlefield of your mind. If you allow chaos, confusion, or distractions to dominate your early hours, you are giving away the day before it even begins. But if you rise with purpose, with focus, with intention, you become the master of your day. The discipline to wake early, to organize your thoughts, to prepare your mind and body for the challenges ahead is the very foundation of personal greatness. Discipline is freedom. Many think freedom is doing whatever you want, but true freedom comes from mastery, and mastery begins with your mornings. When you discipline yourself to rise early, to read, to plan, to meditate, and to set goals, you are laying the bricks of your success. You are saying to the world, I am in control. I will not be dictated to by circumstances or time. The small sacrifices you make in those early hours multiply into monumental gains in your life. Mindset is everything. The thoughts you entertain in the first hour of your day shape your attitude for the next 24 hours. If you wake up and focus on problems, lack, or negativity, your day will mirror that. But if you wake with gratitude, with purpose, with vision, your mind becomes fertile ground for opportunity, creativity, and achievement. You are planting seeds every morning, seeds of excellence, seeds of productivity, seeds of victory. Purpose is the engine of momentum. To wake up without a clear purpose is like sailing without a rudder. You drift, you falter, you lose direction. But when you begin your day knowing your mission, understanding why you exist, you harness energy beyond the ordinary. Your morning becomes a launch pad, propelling you toward your dreams with clarity and force. Each step you take is aligned with your calling, each action intentional, each moment powerful. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. Thinking and planning are important, but nothing changes without action. The morning is your opportunity to act decisively before the noise of life intrudes. The first victories you claim are often the smallest, yet they create momentum. A disciplined morning builds momentum that carries you through challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. Momentum becomes your invisible ally, propelling you towards success. Finally, guard your morning. Protect it from distractions, from negative influences, from people and activities that steal your focus. What you allow in the first hours of your day becomes what you tolerate in your life. Be intentional, be vigilant, be relentless. Your morning is sacred. It is the foundation of your greatness, the moment when your character is defined, the time when your destiny can be shaped. Ladies and gentlemen, winning your morning is not merely about waking early. It is about rising with discipline, mindset, purpose, action, and vigilance. It is about claiming the first victory of your day so that every other victory becomes possible. Make your mornings sacred, make them intentional, and watch as your life transforms from ordinary to extraordinary. Your morning is the most important part of your day because it is the first opportunity you have to set the tone, to define your focus, and to take control of your life. Every day begins with a choice, whether you realize it or not. You can choose to wake up in chaos, rushing through your morning, reacting to circumstances and allowing distractions to dictate your pace. Or you can rise intentionally with purpose and take command of your day before the world has a chance to steal it from you. The morning is a mirror of your mind. If your mind is cluttered, your morning will be cluttered. If your thoughts are scattered, your morning will be scattered. But when your mind is focused, when you have clarity about what matters most, your morning becomes a powerful foundation upon which your day, and ultimately your life, is built. Think about it. The first hour of your day is the hour that determines how you respond to challenges, how you interact with people, how you manage your emotions, and how much you can accomplish. It is during this sacred time that you decide whether you will be productive, positive, and proactive, or reactive, distracted, and unfulfilled. Consider the impact of a morning lost to lethargy, procrastination, or unnecessary worry. When you begin your day without intention, you are handing over your power to circumstances outside of yourself. You allow the chaos of the world to enter your life before you have had a chance to prepare. One small decision, to hit the snooze button, to scroll endlessly on your phone, to engage with negativity before centering yourself, can shape the entire trajectory of your day. These seemingly small choices accumulate, and what begins as a sluggish, unfocused morning can lead to frustration, stress, and inefficiency that lasts long after the sun has risen. On the other hand, when you rise early with determination, when you greet the morning with gratitude, energy, and clarity, you are laying the foundation for success. The morning becomes your ally, not your adversary. It becomes the time when your best thoughts emerge, your plans gain structure, and your energy finds direction. Your morning also reflects the state of your discipline and self-mastery. Life rewards those who take responsibility for their time. The early hours of the day are uncontested. They belong to you alone, before meetings, before calls, before the demands of others try to pull you off course. This is the moment to claim victory, to invest in your growth, to feed your mind with ideas, knowledge, and inspiration. Those who understand the power of their morning know that success is rarely an accident. It is intentional, it is cultivated, and it is earned in the quiet hours when others are still asleep or distracted. Your morning is the place where character is strengthened, where habits are formed, and where momentum begins. If you can master this sacred time, you are preparing yourself to handle any challenge, seize any opportunity, and maintain focus no matter what comes your way. Think about the great achievers, the leaders, the innovators, the visionaries throughout history. They understood the value of the morning. They did not allow their days to be dictated by chance or circumstance. They took control of their mornings, and in doing so, they took control of their lives. The morning is a reflection of your priorities. It reveals what you truly value because the way you spend your first hours shows where your energy and attention go. When you choose to invest in your mind, your body, and your spirit first thing in the morning, you are sending a powerful signal to yourself. My life is important, my goals are important, and I refuse to be controlled by distraction or delay. This is the foundation of excellence. Your morning is also a moment of alignment. Alignment between your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions creates harmony that propels you forward. If you wake up with scattered thoughts, negative self-talk, or confusion, your actions throughout the day will mirror that chaos. But when you begin with clarity, focus, and a vision of what you intend to achieve, your day becomes more productive, more meaningful, and more impactful. You are no longer a passenger in your life. You become the driver, steering with purpose, confidence, and direction. Winning your morning is about more than just waking up early. It is about waking up with awareness, with control, and with the understanding that the first victory of your day determines the rest. Even your emotions are shaped by the morning. How you feel when you wake up often dictates how you respond to challenges, setbacks, or opportunities. If you allow negativity, stress, or anxiety to dominate the first moments of your day, it will influence every interaction, decision, and action you take. But if you cultivate positivity, gratitude, and focus from the very beginning, you carry that energy forward, influencing not only your own results, but also the atmosphere around you. Your morning sets the emotional temperature of your day, and when you control it, you control your performance, your relationships, and your productivity. Finally, your morning is where vision meets action. Dreams remain dreams unless they are acted upon, and the morning is the perfect time to begin. Each day in those first hours, you have a choice to sleepwalk through life or to rise and take command of your destiny. To win your morning is to win your day, your week, your year, and ultimately your life. It is a principle that cannot be ignored, a truth that is consistent across time and culture. Every success story begins with someone who understood this simple fact. The way you start your day determines the way your life unfolds. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many people think of it as restriction, as a limitation on freedom, as a burden that takes away joy. But in truth, discipline is the very key that unlocks freedom. The freedom you seek, the life you desire, and the accomplishments you dream of are all built upon the foundation of self-discipline. It begins in the morning. The way you start your day, the choices you make in those first hours, and the habits you establish when the world is still quiet are the building blocks of a life that is truly free. Without discipline, your day is dictated by impulse, distraction, and circumstance. You become a reactive participant in life rather than a proactive architect of your destiny. Discipline is the ability to do what must be done, even when you do not feel like doing it, and even when external pressures tempt you to delay or abandon your purpose. It is the silent force that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the average from the exceptional. When you wake up early, not because you have to, but because you choose to, you are exercising discipline. When you take the time to plan your day, prioritize your tasks, and focus on what truly matters, you are exercising discipline. When you resist the pull of distractions, negativity, And procrastination, you are exercising discipline. Every disciplined action is a statement to the universe and to yourself that you are in control, that your life will not be left to chance, and that your destiny is not negotiable. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your achievements, and it begins the moment you rise from bed. The power of discipline is often invisible in the short term, but becomes undeniable over time. One disciplined morning may not feel significant, but a series of disciplined mornings compounds into a life of remarkable achievement. Discipline creates patterns, habits, and routines that align your actions with your purpose. These routines become your automatic responses, your natural momentum, and your foundation for excellence. Without discipline, talent, intelligence, and ambition can be wasted. Discipline transforms potential into performance, ideas into results, and dreams into reality. The early hours of the day are critical because they are the uncontested time when you can cultivate these habits. Discipline also frees your mind. When your life is undisciplined, your thoughts are scattered, your priorities are unclear, and your energy is dissipated. You are constantly reacting to events rather than acting intentionally. But when you apply discipline to your mornings, you create structure and clarity. Your mind becomes focused, your intentions become clear, and your energy is directed toward meaningful action. You no longer wake up to confusion or overwhelm. Instead, you rise with a sense of purpose and control. Discipline is not about restricting your life, it is about expanding it. It gives you the ability to focus on what truly matters and to eliminate the distractions that steal your time, energy, and attention. True freedom is not the absence of rules, it is the presence of mastery. People who lack discipline are often slaves to circumstance. They are controlled by their emotions, their desires, and the pressures of the world around them. Those who cultivate discipline, however, are free. They choose how to respond to every situation. They decide how to spend their time, how to allocate their energy, and how to navigate challenges. Discipline gives you the power to act according to your values, your goals, and your purpose rather than being swayed by external influences. It is the ability to rise above immediate gratification in order to secure long-term success. Discipline also builds resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges will always arise. The morning discipline you cultivate becomes your inner strength when the storms come. It trains you to persevere when things get difficult, to remain focused when distractions emerge, and to act decisively when pressure mounts. Discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. It equips you with the habits, mindset, and endurance required to navigate life with confidence and competence. Each morning that you commit to discipline is an investment in your capacity to face obstacles without fear, to respond with clarity, and to achieve beyond expectation. Furthermore, discipline fosters self-respect and confidence. When you honor your commitments to yourself, when you follow through on your intentions, and when you consistently act in alignment with your values, you develop a deep sense of integrity and self-worth. This self-respect fuels motivation, attracts opportunity, and amplifies your influence. A disciplined morning signals to yourself and to the world that you are serious about your life, that you are a person of action, and that you are someone who does not leave success to chance. Discipline creates freedom in every area of life. Financial freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom, and relational freedom all begin with the mastery of small actions consistently applied. The morning is the proving ground for this mastery. When you rise disciplined, plan your day intentionally, act decisively, and prioritize purpose over pleasure, you are claiming the freedom to live life on your terms. You are no longer a slave to circumstance or impulse. Instead, you are the architect of your destiny, the captain of your ship, and the master of your own fate. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world, the filter through which you interpret every event, interaction, and circumstance. It determines how you respond to challenges, how you seize opportunities, and how you navigate the journey of life. Every morning is an opportunity to shape your mindset, to decide the attitude, the focus, and the energy that will carry you throughout the day. When you understand that your thoughts create your reality, you realize that winning your morning begins in the mind. If you allow fear, doubt, negativity, or confusion to dominate your early hours, your day will reflect those same patterns. But if you consciously choose thoughts of purpose, possibility, and positivity, you are planting the seeds for a day filled with achievement, joy, and impact. Mindset is not merely a mental state, it is the foundation of action, the source of motivation, and the key to transforming dreams into tangible results. Consider this: two people can face the exact same situation, yet one will rise above and the other will falter. The difference is mindset. One sees obstacles as opportunities to learn, grow, and innovate, while the other sees them as barriers, reasons to quit, and justifications for mediocrity. Your morning is the time to consciously choose which perspective you will adopt. It is the time to program your mind for excellence before the pressures of life attempt to distort it. The thoughts you entertain in the first hour of your day are like the seeds you plant in fertile soil. They will grow, shape your decisions, and determine your actions. If you nurture fear and negativity, you cultivate struggle and limitation. If you nurture faith, vision, and determination, you cultivate possibility, success, and abundance. Mindset also governs resilience. Life is full of unpredictability, setbacks, and challenges. The person with a mindset rooted in strength, focus, and determination will not be defeated by adversity. Instead, they will use challenges as stepping stones, lessons, and catalysts for growth. Winning your morning with the right mindset means that when obstacles arise, you meet them with clarity, calmness, and courage. You refuse to be a victim of circumstance. You recognize that every difficulty carries an opportunity, every setback contains a lesson, and every delay can be transformed into a stepping stone toward your goals. Your morning sets the tone for this mental clarity and emotional stability. Your mindset is also the master key to unlocking your potential. Many people fail not because of lack of skill, talent, or opportunity, but because of limiting beliefs, self-doubt, and a negative internal dialogue. The way you think about yourself, your abilities, and your circumstances shapes the trajectory of your life. The morning is your sacred moment to confront these thoughts, to challenge the limitations you have unconsciously accepted, and to program your mind with empowerment and possibility. Affirmations, visualization, meditation, and intentional reflection are all tools to cultivate a mindset that aligns with your vision and your goals. These practices prime your mind for creativity, productivity, and resilience before the external world demands your attention. Furthermore, mindset affects your energy, focus, and productivity. When you begin your day with scattered thoughts, worries, and distractions, your energy is diluted, your focus is weakened, and your actions lack coherence. But when your mind is centered, your thoughts are intentional, and your outlook is positive, your energy multiplies, your focus sharpens, and your actions produce results. Winning your morning is about more than simply waking up. It is about waking up with the power to control your mind, to direct your attention, and to fuel your actions with intention. Your mindset is the invisible engine behind everything you do. And the first hours of your day are when this engine must be primed and ignited. Mindset also shapes relationships and influence. The way you perceive yourself and the world affects how you interact with others. A person with a positive, solution-oriented mindset will inspire, lead, and elevate those around them. A person with a reactive, negative mindset will create tension, conflict, and limitation. By winning your morning, by programming your mind with clarity, positivity, and purpose, you ensure that your interactions throughout the day are constructive, empowering, and impactful. Your mindset determines not just your internal state, but also the quality of your communication, leadership, and influence in every area of life. Finally, mindset is the foundation of long-term success. Habits, actions, and results all flow from the state of your mind. If you master your mornings, if you cultivate a mindset of focus, optimism, and vision, you create a ripple effect that shapes your entire life. Your thoughts become beliefs, your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions determine your results. Winning your morning is not a temporary victory. It is the first step in a lifelong pattern of excellence. It is the conscious choice to align your thoughts with your highest goals, to program your mind for achievement, and to refuse to allow circumstances, distractions, or negativity to define your day or your destiny. Purpose is the invisible force that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Without purpose, productivity is random, directionless, and fleeting. You can be busy all day long, filling your hours with tasks and activity, yet accomplish very little of significance. Purpose gives your actions meaning, your energy focus, and your efforts direction. It is the compass that guides your decisions, the fuel that sustains your motivation, and the standard by which you measure progress. Winning your morning begins with clarity of purpose, because the first hours of your day set the trajectory for everything that follows. When you rise with purpose, you are no longer a victim of distractions or circumstance. You are a deliberate, intentional force moving toward your vision. Each morning becomes a sacred opportunity to align your actions with your mission, to prioritize what matters, and to invest your energy in what truly counts. When you lack purpose, your day is scattered. You drift from task to task, reacting to notifications, interruptions, and external pressures. You may feel busy, but the work you produce lacks impact. Why? You operate in a state of perpetual motion without progress. Productivity divorced from purpose is like a ship without a rudder. It may move, but it will not reach its destination. But when your morning begins with a clear sense of purpose, everything changes. Your tasks are no longer arbitrary, they are intentional. Your actions are no longer reactive, they are proactive. You act with clarity, focus, and a sense of urgency because you understand that every moment carries the potential to move you closer to your goals. Purpose transforms your productivity from quantity to quality, from noise to meaningful achievement. Purpose also shapes your mindset. When you know why you are doing something, you approach it with energy, enthusiasm, and resilience. Challenges that would normally discourage or distract you are reframed as necessary steps in a meaningful journey. Obstacles become opportunities, setbacks become lessons, and delays become tests of endurance. Your morning, when infused with purpose, becomes the laboratory in which your attitude, focus, and discipline are honed. You begin your day with clarity about what must be done and why it matters. This clarity frees your mind from unnecessary worry, indecision, and doubt. Purpose gives your productivity precision, ensuring that every action is aligned with your highest priorities. Purpose also dictates the allocation of your energy. Time is the most valuable resource you possess, and it is non-renewable. When your morning is driven by purpose, you direct your energy to the tasks that matter most, avoiding the distractions, trivialities, and interruptions that consume your day without advancing your vision. Each task, no matter how small, is evaluated against your overarching mission. You prioritize, plan, and execute with intentionality. The energy you invest is no longer wasted on the inconsequential. It becomes concentrated, effective, and catalytic. Purpose creates efficiency because it focuses your efforts on what truly produces results, rather than scattering them across a myriad of non-essential activities. When purpose guides productivity, motivation becomes intrinsic rather than dependent on external factors. You do not wait for inspiration to strike, for circumstances to be perfect, or for others to encourage you. Your reason for acting is embedded within your vision and mission. This internal drive transforms mornings from a routine obligation into a powerful ritual of advancement. You rise with enthusiasm because you understand that the day is an opportunity to move closer to your destiny. Each morning becomes a rehearsal for excellence, a practice in prioritization, and a commitment to living intentionally. The alignment of purpose and productivity is the secret behind consistent achievement, fulfillment, and impact. Purpose also enables resilience. Even when external conditions are difficult, even when distractions and interruptions threaten to derail your plans, a morning rooted in purpose provides unwavering guidance. It reminds you why you began, what you are working toward, and why your efforts are worth sustaining. Purpose anchors your attention, protects your focus, and strengthens your commitment. It creates a mental and emotional framework that enables you to act decisively, respond strategically, and persevere consistently. Productivity without purpose is fragile, easily disrupted by circumstance. Productivity with purpose is unstoppable, anchored in clarity, direction, and intention. Finally, purpose amplifies the impact of your productivity. Actions performed without purpose may produce results, but those results are often fleeting, superficial, or misaligned with your highest goals. Actions performed with purpose generate outcomes that matter, create value, and build legacy. Winning your morning means approaching each hour with intentionality, prioritizing tasks that align with your vision, and acting with a sense of mission. When purpose drives your productivity, you are no longer a slave to business or routine. You are an architect of results, a strategist of success, and a creator of meaningful impact. Purpose transforms effort into achievement, work into progress, and mornings into a launchpad for greatness. Action is the bridge between vision and reality. You can have the clearest purpose, the strongest mindset, and the most disciplined routine, but until you act, nothing changes. Action is the force that transforms ideas into results, plans into achievements, and intentions into outcomes. Winning your morning requires taking decisive action before the noise of the day attempts to distract you. The first hours are your opportunity to move from thought to execution, to transform potential into progress, and to set a pace that the rest of your day will naturally follow. Momentum is born in motion, and your morning is the ideal time to generate it. The smallest action performed consistently compounds over time into unstoppable progress. The person who understands this principle rises early not merely to plan but to do, to take steps that lead directly toward their goals. Action ignites momentum, and momentum carries you through challenges, decisions, and opportunities with ease and confidence. Many people underestimate the power of starting. They wait for perfect conditions, for complete clarity, or for the right circumstances to align. But life rarely waits for perfection. The secret to winning your morning is understanding that action itself creates clarity, fuels energy, and produces results. When you begin moving, when you take the first step, even if it is small, you initiate a chain reaction. One action leads to another. One accomplishment generates confidence. One task completed becomes motivation for the next. Momentum is not a matter of chance. It is a deliberate result of consistent action taken in alignment with purpose and vision. The morning is the ideal moment to harness this power because it is uncontested, fresh, and full of potential. Action also reinforces discipline and builds character. Doing what must be done, even when it is challenging, uncomfortable, or inconvenient, strengthens your ability to follow through. Every completed task, every decisive step, every intentional movement in the morning reinforces the principle that you are in control of your life. You are no longer passive or reactive. You become proactive, taking ownership of outcomes rather than leaving them to chance. This habit of early action creates a psychological advantage. Your mind begins the day knowing that you are a person of follow-through, a person who moves with purpose, and a person who converts intentions into tangible results. The momentum generated in the morning often carries into the rest of the day, making other challenges easier to face and other decisions simpler to execute. Taking action early also combats procrastination. When you delay, you give inertia the opportunity to take hold, and momentum is lost before it is ever gained. The longer you wait, the more resistance builds and the harder it becomes to begin. But action, no matter how small, breaks through resistance. It sets the tone for the day. By acting decisively in the morning, you create a psychological pattern that reinforces productivity, focus, and effectiveness. Momentum begins to accumulate, and your confidence grows with each completed task. You no longer approach the day with hesitation or uncertainty. You move with clarity, conviction, and purpose. Action also amplifies the power of mindset and purpose. Thoughts without action are wasted energy, and purpose without execution is merely an idea. When you combine clear thinking, focused purpose, and decisive action, the results are exponential. The morning is the time to harness this combination to ensure that your vision does not remain abstract but becomes real. Each step you take early in the day reinforces your intentions and strengthens your trajectory toward success. Momentum becomes a natural force, carrying you forward with less resistance and greater efficiency. Once momentum is established, it transforms challenges into opportunities, setbacks into lessons, and obstacles into stepping stones. Action is also contagious. When you begin your morning by moving decisively, and by committing to progress, you influence the environment around you. Energy spreads. Focus spreads, momentum spreads. The person who takes early action inspires themselves and others, creating a ripple effect that enhances productivity, effectiveness, and achievement in ways that extend beyond the individual. Momentum is not just personal, it is relational, systemic, and transformative. By acting first, you set a standard, model excellence, and elevate the expectations of those around you. Finally, action ensures that your goals are not just aspirations but achievements. Vision, mindset, discipline, and purpose all lay the groundwork. But it is action that constructs the reality you desire. Momentum is the reward for consistent movement, and it is created in the moments when you choose to act rather than hesitate, to begin rather than delay, and to commit rather than question. Winning your morning is about taking these actions with intentionality, decisiveness, and alignment with your highest priorities. The momentum generated in those early hours becomes the invisible force that propels you through the day, making success, productivity, and achievement inevitable. Your first hours of the day are sacred. They are a gift, a blank canvas, and a moment of tremendous opportunity. Yet too often, people allow these hours to be hijacked by distractions, negativity, and the demands of others. They wake to a flood of notifications, interruptions, and trivial concerns before they have even had a chance to center themselves. To win your morning, you must guard these hours fiercely. You must understand that what you allow into your mind, your environment, and your focus in the early hours will dictate the quality, productivity, and energy of the rest of your day. The first hours are when your character is tested, when your priorities are defined, and when your intentions are set. Every decision you make in these moments carries a weight far beyond the immediate. It shapes your mindset, fuels your momentum, and influences your capacity to achieve. Protecting this time is not optional. It is essential to living a life of purpose, discipline, and excellence. When you guard your morning, you create a controlled environment that allows your mind and body to operate at their highest capacity. The early hours are when your energy is most available, your focus is most sharp, and your potential is most accessible. If you squander this time on distractions, complaints, or reactive behaviors, you lose an irreplaceable advantage. The people who achieve greatness understand this principle. They recognize that the morning is a battleground, and whoever controls it controls the day. To guard your morning is to take responsibility for your life, to refuse to let others dictate your agenda, and to intentionally design the hours that will define your success. It is a practice of self-respect, self-mastery, and vision. Guarding your morning begins with awareness. You must know what you allow into these hours and why. Social media, emails, messages, and news may seem urgent, but they rarely contribute to your highest goals. When you allow these distractions to dominate your first hours, you relinquish control over your attention, your energy, and ultimately your results. By contrast, choosing to begin your day with purpose-driven actions, such as planning, reflection, exercise, or study, sets a tone of control, focus, and intentionality. The mind is like fertile soil. What you plant early in the morning grows throughout the day. Negative input produces stress, distraction, and confusion, while positive input produces clarity, energy, and momentum. Guarding your morning is about consciously planting the seeds that will grow into productivity, fulfillment, and achievement. Distractions are not only external, they can also be internal. The first thoughts you entertain, the internal dialogue you allow, and the mental patterns you engage in can derail your day before it begins. Self-doubt, worry, and fear often creep in silently during the early hours, quietly influencing your emotions, decisions, and actions. Guarding your morning requires vigilance over your own mind. You must intentionally focus on thoughts that empower, motivate, and inspire. Meditation, affirmations, visualization, and journaling are tools to protect your mental space, allowing you to start your day with clarity, confidence, and purpose. The first hours are when you decide whether you will be ruled by circumstance or lead your life by choice. Environment is another critical factor. Your surroundings in the early morning influence your mood, your energy, and your capacity for focus. A cluttered space, noise, or chaos can immediately drain your energy and scatter your attention. Protecting your morning includes creating an environment that supports your intentions, tidy, organized, peaceful, and conducive to concentration. Whether it is through a dedicated workspace, a quiet corner, or a structured routine, your environment should reinforce the control, discipline, and focus you are cultivating. What you surround yourself with in the first hours will shape your ability to act with effectiveness and clarity throughout the day. Guarding your morning also means setting boundaries with others. People often unintentionally demand attention, impose urgency, or distract you from your priorities. To win your day, you must protect your first hours from the intrusion of obligations that do not align with your mission. This may require communicating boundaries, saying no to requests, or delaying engagement until your priorities are secured. Those who respect their mornings respect their lives. They recognize that the power to focus and act intentionally is a critical resource that cannot be surrendered without consequence. Finally, guarding your morning is an act of leadership over yourself. It is a demonstration of self-respect, self-mastery, and intentionality. It communicates to yourself and to the world that your time, energy, and attention are valuable. By protecting these hours, you preserve the mental clarity, emotional balance, and physical energy required to pursue excellence. You create momentum, reinforce discipline, and amplify productivity. Every great achievement begins with control over the morning, because the first hours are the foundation upon which success, fulfillment, and influence are built. Ladies and gentlemen, the victory of your life begins in the quiet moments before the world demands your attention. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, and every extraordinary life starts with the discipline to rise, the clarity to focus, the mindset to overcome, the purpose to drive action, and the courage to guard your most sacred hours. Winning your morning is not a ritual, it is a declaration. A declaration that you are the master of your time, the captain of your destiny, and the architect of your own success. When you claim your mornings, you are claiming your life. Do not wait for opportunity to find you. Do not wait for perfect conditions, favorable circumstances, or the approval of others. The power to change, the power to achieve, and the power to live the life you were created for resides within the choices you make each morning. The first hours of your day are the launchpad of excellence. They are the defining moments when your thoughts, your actions, and your focus converge to shape your reality. What you do when the world is still quiet, when distractions have not yet arrived, and when the potential of a new day is in your hands, determines everything that follows. Rise with purpose. Think with clarity. Act with decisiveness. Guard your time. Feed your mind, fuel your spirit. The world will test you, challenges will confront you, and obstacles will attempt to derail you. But a life built on disciplined mornings is unshakable. Momentum, productivity, focus, and success all flow from this one principle. The way you start each day defines the way you live your life. So I challenge you, beginning tomorrow, to rise with intention, to seize the morning, and to act with the certainty that your destiny will not be left to chance. Win your morning, and every hour thereafter will bow to your discipline, your purpose, and your vision. Let your mornings be sacred. Let them be powerful. Let them be the time when you decide that nothing, no circumstance, no distraction, no fear will dictate your life. Your morning is your moment. Take it, own it, win it. And in doing so, you will awaken a life of extraordinary success, fulfillment,